Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chioma. If you're a new subscriber, thanks for stopping by. Please do well to subscribe and click on the bell icon to get notified every time I upload a new video. And to all my old subscribers, thank you for always coming back. God bless you. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about tips on raising godly children in today's world. Okay, guys, it's a task is a task to raise children, let alone wanting to raise godly children in this time and age. Okay, so I've listed some points I'm going to be talking to you guys about, and we'll start without wasting much of your time. Okay, so guys, in this kind of world we live in today, parenting has to be deliberate. Parenting is not something you just wake up and then you realize that your children have become everything you ever want them to be. No. Parenting is something you have to be very deliberate and intentional about. It is what you give, you get. It's garbage in, garbage out. Okay? So guys, point number one. If you really want to raise godly children in this time and age, point number one, teach your children to be confident in themselves. Teach your children to be confident in themselves, okay? Irrespective of their color, their tribe, their height, their outward look. You know, children sometimes can be very funny when you suddenly realize that your child wants or desires to be fair or to be dark or something, and the child may not really know why, and the child does not have a concrete explanations to give you as to why he or she wants to be the way he or she wants. It is your job to tell that child or to teach that child how to be confident the way they are, the way God created them. They should not let other people look down on them, okay? If your child goes to school and somebody, body shames your child should be able to defend himself or herself. Your child should know things to say. Somebody looks at the child and say, you with your polo eyes. In Nigeria, polo eyes means big eyeballs. Your child should be able to look at that person in the eye and tell that person, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am created in the image and likeness of God. These are the things you should teach your children: how to defend themselves, how to be confident in themselves, how not to be scared, how not to be apologetic for who they are. That's point number one. Point number two, teach your children to also value others. Everybody is unique the way they are. So while you are teaching your child how to, value themselves and be confident in themselves, also teach your child or your children how not to look down on other people, how not to devalue other people. Teach your children that every other child is as unique as they themselves are, irrespective of their situation or their status. Let them learn to respect and regard every other person the way they want people to regard them. Okay? Number three, sorry, we've talked about number one, we've talked about number one, we've talked about number two, now talking about number three. Okay, set boundaries for your children. That's number three. Set boundaries for your children. As children grow, their liberty increases on the basis of their understanding. What a child can do when he or she is 1 or 2 years with guidance, with somebody saying, go this way, go that way, do this or do it that way. By the time that child gets to like 5, 6 years, there are some things that child will be able to do for himself or herself. And so also, there are some things that a child can do at 1, 2 years, you overlook. At 5, 6 years, you will not overlook. You get it now? Okay. So, reward them. We're talking about setting boundaries for your children now. Reward or appreciate your child when he or she behaves well. Guys, this is something that most of us didn't get. A lot of us, whether you do well. In fact, if you even think you did well, that is when Your parents will tell you because of that small thing you did. And we should also understand that our time is not the same with their time. The way we learned in school is not the way they are learning now in school. My husband was surprised the day my child was reading phonics alphabet for him, A, then B, you know. And my husband like, what are you saying? It is A, B, C, D, things like that, okay? So the way we learn has, in fact, is gradually fading out. If it has not finished fading out, it's gradually fading out. The way they are learning now, they are learning on a faster pace, more than we did. Okay? So we should learn to encourage and appreciate them. It emboldens them, it makes them feel good. It gives them this sense of responsibility that, okay, I'm actually doing well. I'm living up to expectations. Okay? So parents, please learn to appreciate or reward your child if he or she behaves well. It boosts their confidence, it makes them bold. It encourages them also. Then don't let them get everything they want when they want it and how they want it. Remember, we're talking about point number 3, setting boundaries for your children. Don't let them get everything they want, the way they want it, and how they want it. A child telling you, Mommy, I want juice. I mean, like now. And I want a full pack of juice. Some parents will be surprised that a child is demanding for all of this. But do you also know that some parents will give this to their child or to their children just so the children will not feel like they are under punishment or they are being maltreated? Some parents are like that. And if you really want to raise godly children, it is wrong. Of course, it's okay for them to demand for something from you. Mommy, can I get this? Mommy, can I get that? It's also okay to give them, but give them what you want to give them, when you want to give them, and how you want to give them. My toddler, sometimes in the morning when he sees me packing his lunchbox for school, will start demanding for the things in his lunch bag that I should give it to him that time. And of course, I know I can't give it to him. I can't, a child just wake up from sleep in the morning. I'm looking for a way to make the child eat food very well first inside his stomach before going to school. I'll now come and give you juice and biscuit. Okay, so when you finish eating that one, what will you now eat before going to school? Then okay, maybe you now tell me you're not hungry again, you don't want to eat, or there's no space in your stomach to eat. Then you now go to school, and then when you get to school, okay, I'm going to put double snacks for you. No, you are going to school. Today it is school day. So you go to school, you eat your breakfast in the house. When you get to school, you eat the food you went with during your break period. Have your snack during your snack period. Then school week close, I'll go and pick you. When you come home, you eat your lunch, have your breakfast. So these are the things, these are the boundaries. When we're talking about setting boundaries for your children, we don't mean you should hinder them from things that are going to make them develop or grow, But let them understand that there is time for everything. Don't give them everything they want, just the way they want it, and how and when they want it. You are not doing well. If you've been doing that before now, please, I beg you to stop. No. Set your own boundaries. They have to follow your rules. In as much as you're trying to, let them boost their confidence, you should also learn to set boundaries, okay? That being said, teach them to trust God, who is our provider. Of course, they've not seen God coming down from heaven to give them a loaf of bread or biscuit and juice. It's always mommy and daddy. But you should also teach them to trust God. Teach them to know that God is our provider. He's the one providing all of our needs. He's the one giving to daddy and to mommy, and daddy and mommy is bringing home to the children. Set boundaries for bedtime. If you say they are going to sleep by 8, it's by 8. If it's by 7, it's by 7. Don't come and say they are watching one cartoon. In fact, it's their favorite cartoon they are watching, so I did not allow them to go to bed on time. No. Even if it's the best cartoon they love to watch, once it's time for bed, they should go to bed. There's always another day. Let there be boundaries for meal. Your child should not be seen around the house munching things every time. It's either his sweet or his biscuit or his rice crispy or cocoa pops or something. No. There should be boundaries. If it's breakfast, if it's lunch, if it's snack time, there should be boundaries. Okay? Okay, playtime. If it's time to play, let them play. If it's time to stop playing, let them stop playing. They should know that when mommy says it is time to stop, it's time to stop. We are not going to start arguing with mommy and deliberating with mommy. Should we stop? Should we not stop? Mommy, please, mommy, no, no. If it's time to play, it's time to play. If it's time to stop, it's time to stop. Set boundaries for study and homework. When you want them to study, when you want them to do their homework, and let it be so. Don't bend it. Don't come and say, okay, because today is Friday, do your homework by 7 in the night. The next week, Friday, say, okay, today is weekend, don't worry, you do it on Saturday. No. Set boundaries for study time and for homework. Whenever and however you want them to be doing it. Set boundaries and maintain it. And please, all these things we're talking about, it's not going to make sense. All these things we're talking about is not going to make sense if you are dwindling in it. You have to be consistent. Please, parents, guidance. I'm talking to you people now. Be consistent. When you are setting boundaries, let it be boundaries. Let it remain the way it is, the way you have set it, the way it should be. Okay? Guys, point number 4 is discipline. Do not make empty threats. For example, if you tell your child, if you pick biscuit from the floor, I'll spank you. And your child goes ahead to pick biscuit from the floor. Don't come and say, yeah, be careful, though, be careful. Even not for one thing now, I'm meeting you. It doesn't make sense. I have warned you, do not pick biscuit from the floor. If you do, I will spank you. And if you end up doing it, I am going to spank you. So that you know that I'm serious about it. I'm not just beating about the bush or joking up. No. It is what it is. Then, make communication a part of discipline. It's not everything you hit a child for. Every time, knock the child, bam. You do this one here, coin. You know, there are some parents that their hand is always, their knuckles are very close to the child's head. And it's like, coin. Oh, why are you doing this? Slap. No, that is wrong. There are sometimes you can sit your child down and talk to your child. Why did you do this? You shouldn't do this anymore. If you do this, this is the punishment. That is it, guys. Discipline should be consistent. I'm trying to make this video short. Please, guys. Discipline should be consistent, okay? Positive discipline creates intimacy. You shouldn't drive your child away from you. If you discipline your child and your child runs away from you, please, there's something you're not doing well. Retrace your steps and get it right. Number 5, communicate with your children. Okay? Don't raise alarm unnecessarily. You're just shouting. In this morning, you shout. No. Don't do that. By so doing, you're letting your child predict you. Your child will not know any small thing, mommy will just shout. Any small thing, mommy is always shout. You know, there are children like that. Don't do that to your children. Don't be judgmental or be open-minded. Don't always judge your children when they tell you something, you blame them. No. Hear them. Know the reasons why so thing happened. Correct them when necessary. Discipline them where necessary. Don't always judge them. In fact, you should not, there's no reason to judge them. Don't judge them. They are still children, they are growing. They are bound to make mistakes, have experiences, and grow with it. So please, don't judge them. Give answers to every of their questions. Don't come and say, when you grow, you will understand. No. Give them answers to their questions, the level they will understand, according to their level of understanding. Use the kind of words you know they will understand. Explain it to them the way they are going to understand you. But don't ever carry over any question. If a child asks you something, if your child asks you a question, make sure you answer your child. Okay? Please. Number 6, build a safe environment for your child or for your children. If you know somebody that has a questionable character, if you know somebody that has a questionable character, don't let your child be around such a person. You know what I mean by questionable character? Somebody whose report is not always pleasant to the ears. Don't leave your child under such a person's custody or around such a person. No. Always protect your children and make sure the environment is very safe. If your child is always complaining about somebody, call your child, ask your child why. Why are you always complaining about this person? Or why are you uncomfortable around this person? Let your child tell you. Don't just dismiss their opinions or their feelings, okay? Guys, teach them to avoid inappropriate touches. Of course, they are not. See, my toddler of 2 years plus, I've already started teaching him sex education. They know. I say if somebody touches, I use words that I know he can understand, and we do it playfully, but I'm passing a message across to him. In fact, there was a day they called my attention in church that in the children's church section, the lady that takes care of them in the toilet said, call me. Sima, please examine your child. That anytime he comes to wee in the toilet, please examine your child. That anytime my son comes to wee in the toilet and he tries to unzip his trouser, he will bend and cover his trouser with his hand, like she should not touch him. So she said he did it the previous Sunday. And he forcefully opened his dress and asked him to wee. He wee. The second Sunday, which was the day she was telling me, she said, if I this time today, he did not even allow me to touch him. He was just shouting and screaming. And then I smiled. I said, nothing is wrong with him. She said, are you sure? Maybe he boiled or something. I said, nothing is wrong with him. But don't worry, I will examine him. But in my heart, I was happy. So my toddler is even understanding what I'm trying to say. So when he came home, of course, he cannot explain himself very well. But then I asked, did you wee in church today? He said, yes. Did auntie touch your trouser? Did auntie open your dress? He said, no. Now, auntie really opened his dress. But he's saying no because he tried to resist. Teach them. Okay? Guys, so remember we are still rushing this thing. I don't want this video to be long, guys. I don't want this video to be long. Okay. Number 7. Model what you want them to learn. Gone are the days you are telling your child. During my days, I used to carry first. So, but you know deep down in your heart that you need a book class in Ishi. You understand what it means to carry class on your head? You come first. You come first from behind. Not from the front. From behind. No, God are those days that you be, telling your children what you didn't do when you were a child or when you were growing, please. Model the kind of character you want your child to exhibit. Practice what you preach. Remember I talked about you teaching your children how to apologize. It will start from you. Now, my child, as little as he is, if I give him something, I will tell him thank you. Of course, I'm not supposed to say thank you when I give him. He's the one that will tell me thank you for receiving. But when I give him, I say thank you. When I receive from him, I say thank you. Now, he was learning it, he was hearing it. But when he became 2 years plus, I'm not limited it to only when I receive from him. So anytime he gives me anything, even if it's irrelevant, I must say thank you. And he was learning. Today, whatever you give to my child, he will say thank you. In fact, there was a day, all of a sudden, he just started saying, thank you, mommy. Thank you, daddy. And I was shocked. I suspect it must be cartoon. If you want your child to learn how to say, I'm sorry, when you do maybe you stepped on your child's toe, tell your child, I'm sorry. Okay? And he or she is going to learn. Oh. Don't be saying they are children. They will learn. They will learn. Teach your children how to love people by you showing love. Don't be telling them, love your neighbor as yourself. Love, when you are not practicing it. They are not seeing you. Your children have never seen you give somebody something. Your children have never seen you hug somebody. Your children have never seen you say thank you for anything. Remember I told you guys that parenting is deliberate. Parenting is intentional. From the moment you get pregnant, you should know that as this child is coming out, this child is going to be learning every day of his or her life. So you have to be deliberate and intentional about the things you want your child to learn. If you must raise godly children, please do not overlook these 7 steps I have just mentioned today. Please put it into practice. Put it into practice and pray. Okay? Prayerfully teach your children what you want them to learn, and God will perfect it. Thank you guys for watching my video today. Thank you so very much. Please, if you have not subscribed, subscribe and click on the bell notification so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. God bless you. See you in my next video. Bye-bye.